Hello and welcome to m200 Online at Cañada College for the fall of 2016. I'm going to walk through our course website, and I'm just going to talk a little bit about each of these menu items you see here on the left. You can access our website by going to smccd.instructure, that's INSTRUCTURE, instructure.com. And once you do that, you type in your appropriate credentials and you should be able to get in. And once you're in, this is our first page that you'll see. This is our home page for the Math 200 OLH Elementary Probability and Statistics course. So once you get to the home page, you'll see a welcome banner here, and then there's a discussion board and some frequently asked questions about this class. Now this page may change over time, but for the beginning of the semester, this is how it's going to look like. You'll also see on the side here some course stream, some upcoming events by looking at the calendar, and some recent feedback that you would see a list over here. You can mess around with those buttons as you go through the semester. Our next item after the home page is a syllabus page. This is basically the syllabus kind of wrapped up. You can see my contact information. This is really the best way to get a hold of me is through email, and my email is this rlapuz2@my.smccd.edu. I know I have other emails floating around, but this is the one I prefer for this particular class. This page also has our information about the course material, some learning outcomes, and the grading scheme. And then below the page, you'll see some information about things that are involved in the calendar, including assignments that are going to be due. Our next page is the announcements page. This will get filled up over time. I'm planning to make announcements once a week, and so you can click on this RSS feed where you can receive these messages via phone or email, and I think anything that I would post here would also get sent to your email. The next item are the assignments. We have a set of homework assignments here that I will eventually fill in, but you see the homework will be located under MyLab and Mastering. That's this link over here. We'll get to there in a few minutes. Meanwhile, all the other assignments, including the quizzes and the journals, are listed here. You can click on one of these things to go to that particular quiz, and then from there you can see the instructions. You can download a file, do the quiz, and then submit it online. And if you have any issues about submitting it, you can click on this guide. So the submission button is up on top. When you do the quiz, you complete the quiz, you either take a picture or scan it, save it as a PDF, and then you would save it onto your computer using the appropriate file name, and then click on Submit Assignment, and you browse it from your computer, and then you can submit it here. Some of the assignments involve discussion boards. So when you click on, for example, journal number 2, you'll see that this is an actual discussion board, and here's the prompt for the discussion board. And then what you can do is you can click on reply and then type in your response. So our assignments come in two flavors. One of them is an assignment that you have to write up as a doc or a text file and then submit. And another assignment is a discussion board type of assignment. So the difference between the two is that the ones that you type up and submit are sent to me and only I read them, and the ones in the discussion board would be something that you would post, and the rest of the class are going to, the rest of the people in the class are going to be able to see your posts. There's also spaces here for the exams. Now these will get filled up by me over time when we take it, so we don't need to worry about filling these in. Our next item are the grades, and you can see the grades really quickly over here by clicking on grades. And then right now these are all empty, of course, because nothing is graded, but once these things get filled up, you'll see a running total of your grade throughout the semester. The next button I want to get at is MyLab and Mastering, and this is the actual place where you do your homework. And this is also a place where you can access the textbook and find some other resources that's provided for you by the publisher. So let's first take a look at the assignments. This is where you do your homework. If you click on assignments, for the first time you'll see this information, so just accept this, and then you may need to sign up and register. So if you've taken a class that used the Pearson MyLab and Mastering, then you just sign in with your username and your password. If you've never done anything like this before, you would create a username and password, and then it's going to ask you for your email address, a username, a password, and then I just want to make a point: when you type in your first and your last name, try to type in the name that's exactly what you have in WebSmart when you registered for this class. So that way it'll match a little bit better. So I'm actually going to backtrack because I already have an account. So I'll type in my username and password. And from here you can get an access code from the bookstore, and you can enter it here, access code. And if you do that, I think the price at the bookstore, if you rent the book and get the copy of the access code, then it's way cheaper than if you were to pay for it using your credit card right here, right now. So you have that option. I'll let you decide. If for convenience, if you just want to pay for it right away, then you can just click on using your credit card or PayPal account. You can click on this button and then make that purchase. If you don't have that readily available, but you want to get in right away, you can actually get started with this course without paying for it, and eventually pay for it within 14 days, it says here. So this button allows you a temporary access to the course for 14 days without payment, but then eventually you'll have to pay for it. So if you click on this, it's going to ask you, are you sure you want to do it? So just click yes, and then it should work out. So it's not going to work out for me because I'm actually the professor and I set up that class, but I'm hoping that everything will work out for you when you sign up for this. Once you get in, you should be able to get access to the assignments, to the course information. So again, coming in here as an instructor, I have a lot of other information here that you're not going to see. Anything that has this symbol is something that I have access to, but you as students won't. So let me show you what you have access to. First, you have the homework assignment page, and this will give you a list of all your homework assignments. Their due dates are listed here on the left side, and then if you click on a homework assignment, it'll open up another page where you can do your homework. Now these are not all multiple choice. The first couple are going to be multiple choice, but a lot of them will be entering numbers and formulas. At some point down here, you're going to need, you're going to see a flag here, and it says that before you can go on, you need to get through the orientation problem. And so the homework orientation is listed up here. So I'm allowing you to get through this information without the orientation, but you should really do the orientation first before doing any of the homework assignments. But in any case, that's what the flags mean. But aside from that, you should be able to go through some of these homework assignments. So let's focus a little bit more on the homework assignments that you'll have to do. These problems have question helps on the side over here. They give you immediate feedback. So if you click on one of these buttons, you can check your answer. If you got that wrong, you can actually remedy that by looking again and trying again. And then here you have final check. so it's wrong. But all these assignments have infinite tries, which means if you get it wrong the first time, you can try it again until you get it correct. Of course, I'm just kind of guessing here. What you really need to do is you should really look at the problem and understand what it's asking. Okay? So I'll let you play around with that and try to get through some of the homework assignments this way, and then hopefully it's self-explanatory and it's useful. Oh, other things that might be useful are some of the question help links over here. There's a help me solve this, view an example. There are videos, animation, textbook references, StatCrunch examples, and tech help. And then you have a Ask My Instructor here. What I'm doing is I'm kind of asking you to use this as a last resort and try to get through the rest of this information before asking me. Because when you ask me, I'm normally not going to just tell you the answer. I'm going to ask you what you've done, and then I'm going to try to walk you through the problem without giving you the answer. So you don't have to save all the time. It's good to click on the save button, but if something happens like your power goes out and you accidentally shut things down, you will still have this information saved. So it says here that I tried question number 1, didn't get it correct. I tried question number 2 and got that correct, and I haven't tried the other questions. And so it'll keep track of that information as you go along, so in case you forget to save, it'll still be there for you. Other things that are available on this website are chapter content. The chapter content is actually the textbook. And if I go to chapter 4, for example, section 4.2, and then I open up the multimedia e-text, what I'm going to get is the book that's actually in electronic form. So if I have the actual hard copy of the book and turn to page 135, I'm going to see exactly what I'm seeing on my page here. The only difference is that this e-textbook has extra links that you can click on. So for example, here is a definition of event, simple event, and sample space. Now this button over here is an animation that talks about events. If I click on that, it'll further explain things. So this is a typical animation where they have, it's like a video with audio. Another button might be this video button. So it kind of looks like an animation, but the video button is actually a button that allows you to see somebody working out a problem or to see somebody explaining a concept. So those are neat little buttons, and you can see there's other types of resources that are involved, and so if you can play around with them and dive into a couple of them and see what they have to offer you, that would be worth it. I mean, after all, you are paying some money for this access to this website, so it might be good to explore as much as you can. The next menu item here is Multimedia Library. If you think that you've settled on a particular type of media that you're interested in, like maybe a PowerPoint presentation is one of the best ways you can learn. You can click on PowerPoint presentation. You can specify the chapter and the section that you want to look at, and then you can find out a PowerPoint presentation that's related to that particular section. So here's a PowerPoint presentation on section 4-3. You can also find everything else, all the media that's available for this particular section. We have the multimedia textbook, some animations, some PowerPoints, a section video lecture, and a bunch of other videos that focus on the exercises that are presented in this textbook. The other link I want to show you is a study plan. This study plan allows you to practice more problems, and it looks like this is only covering chapter 0 and maybe one other chapter, but if you go to view all chapters, you can see the chapter breakdown. And if you worked on any of the assignments, you'll see little push pins over here available for you. And when you click on anything that has these push pins, you can see that these are the actual problems and objectives that you've tried and maybe that you need some work on, and then you can click on these push pins or these topics to give you more practice. And so they have quiz me buttons over here, and in terms of your extra credit that's part of your grade in your syllabus, you can click on these quiz me, and the more of these quiz me's that you're able to do, the more extra credit you can accumulate. Now the extra credit is a very small portion, and I'm really using this particular study plan extra credit for those people that are borderline. So if you got like an 89.5, maybe a handful of these quiz me's might bump you up to a 90%. And so it's kind of minor, but it's something that would still be useful. And more practice really would only help you conquer your homework assignments and your quizzes, and then eventually your exams. Now the last button here would be the Tools for Success. If you click on Tools for Success, you'll see some Stat Talk videos and some chapter exercise videos. But I want to call your attention to some of the technology that we're going to use. We're going to use the TI-8384 graphing calculator. So if you scroll all the way down to the bottom, you'll see a link that'll help you get started with doing things. Let's take a look at measures of center and variation, and here's a step-by-step process that will walk you through being able to input some information. So in this case, I want to put some information in my L1 and L2 list, my list, and so they walk you through button by button, and then so you can do the same work on your own calculator, and then that'll get you primed for being able to take exams. So when you take exams, you will be allowed to use these calculators, but that's the only type of technology that you get to use. So I think it'd be good to really get a handle on a calculator. Now when you're doing homework, you're more than welcome to use any other technology that is available to you, such as Excel or StatCrunch or whatever else. But in a test situation, we're really just limited to your graphing calculator. So regardless of what you use while you're doing your homework or even your quizzes, when you take the exams, you're going to have to only use your calculator. So I think those are all the menu items for my math lab, or they call it MyLab Mastering. So once you get through that, that's going to really round off your whole course website environment. And so between Canvas and MyLab Mastering, that really is going to encompass everything that we're going to need to know. So hopefully that's going to be useful. This is just a taste of things. It's really up to you to dive into each of these little components, and some are going to have more information than others. And so I'll ask you to really get to know this website. We have 17 weeks, 17 and a half weeks of this course, and so hopefully by the by the first to the fourth week, you'll be comfortable with this information. You can be comfortable with navigating through the website, and so you're going to be able to master the site and hopefully eventually master statistics. All right, so welcome again to the class. I invite you to go to the home page and introduce yourself with this discussion board, and I'll see you online.